All right. Good morning. Good morning. Almost afternoon. We're gonna this is probably the earliest live stream I've done in a minute, but I'm working. Just been testing things. Just trying to continue to improve things. Before we start getting like a real routine, before we start getting a real cadence, that's the goal, anyways. So send a notification out to everybody. All right. Cool, 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 cool. What shall we do today? What shall we do? I think that's better for the camera. What's this about? Just hanging out, man. We are doing this as well. If it interests anybody at all, at some point I'll launch this. This is how it works: the Bossio Standard. So, you can submit videos. You can submit your own haircuts, haircut videos, business videos, investing videos, whatever you want, and we'll watch it together. So you submit it, we'll watch it. If it's a haircut or if it's a video worth ranking and adding to our library, then we'll vote on it. We have a leaderboard. We have all kinds of stuff here, and then the top entries will meet the leaderboard. I'll show you guys what that looks like real quick. All right, hold on. So if you head over to 6fbmentorship.com, okay, and you go to reaction room, watch on YouTube, join the vote here. So you can see the leaderboard, or you can submit your own videos, as you can see here. So if you want to, this is the leaderboard. So this was one that we rated. I rated this one 84 out of 100. The people voted it 87 out of 100. You can see kind of like the finishes. This was another one. I rated it 75. They rated it 90 and a half. But eventually this will be full, right? And you'll be able to filter it based on the finished results ranking, the blend and graduation, technical execution. You can see tutorials, business and investing. We haven't done one yet. And then this tells you kind of how scoring works. So it's a real formula here. And then if you want to submit a video, you can. This is the form to submit a video. You can't really fake the funk. This is all going to be real. And yeah, these are our partners. All of them I am a owner of, which is fun. And yeah, you can go to 6fbmentorship.com, then click on reaction room, and that's how you get to that. So we'll start that live. I built an app to kind of run all of this, and we've been testing it. It's not 100%, still testing it, but it's a lot of fun. And I think what I want to do is I'll start off today with let's do a business video today. That's what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna send a video live, and let me show you guys real quick, since most of you guys are in the mentorship, what my view looks like. Okay, so this is my control room. So you can see anything that gets submitted goes into the review section, and I can like, for example, let's say there's this one by Bristol Bancheck, right? I can review the video here. I can watch it. I can see if it's a legit video, and it looks like it is. Okay, I can watch it, all that jazz, and then I can, if I want to add the link, or I just want to make sure that this is the right handle. You can see that's not the correct handle, so I will correct that. because I want these guys to get credit, and maybe this can become a platform for people if it gets any traction. So, anyways, I'll correct that. I'll mark it as ready. Oh, whoops. Hold on. Let's go back here. Let me open the source video so I can get the actual link. There's the link. All right. So I'll close that now. Whoops, wrong video. All right, we'll mark it as ready. Oh, no, I got to confirm. We'll mark it as ready. And now what'll happen is it'll come over here to the right side. And what you'll see is when it comes over to the right side, eventually, once I get through these videos, I can also shuffle the newest 6 or whatever. But once it comes over here, if it's not already there, let's see if it's here. So anyhow, it'll come over here, and then I can send it to the live screen. This is what the live screen looks like. Let me close this. So this is what it looks like here, right? And so I can play the video. Like that's the video that's on right now. I just paused it. Let's actually play it. It's a little slow right now, but like I can zoom in, I can draw on the screen, and you guys will actually see it on this screen as I'm like annotating it and all that good stuff. So a lot of fun. Reason why it's lagging is because I have it on a low quality screen. So let's do this. We're gonna send this live. Oops. All right, so that's working perfect. But I built this app in like a few days, man. Barbering tough right now in this economy. People ain't coming in as frequently. Really? Let me show you guys something. So to the left, you can see all this data that's powered by Full Cap. We're up 35% in clients in haircuts for compared to the last 5 Fridays. We're up 35%. Today, between 11 barbershops, we're 87.6% booked, with 94 barbers working today. You know, so when I see these when I see people make statements like that, when I see videos like that, I'm not saying that that's not true what you're saying for yourself, but what I'm saying is there's probably solutions. There's probably something that you could be doing better, and it doesn't start overnight. It's something you should have been doing months ago, a year ago, so that you're not in this situation right now. Sometimes people raise their prices when they think they should, and the truth doesn't show up until a year later, until it's a slow season, until months later, right? So you got to be careful with that, guys. All right, let's put this video on actually. That's not what I wanted. I'm still doing this shit, man. Yeah, I'm having technical difficulties. Let's see. What I'm doing right now is I'm trying to clean up the app a little bit here. So I'm coding here. I'm not coding, but yeah, I am. I'm coding with AI. This is the new coding, all right? I'm developing software. You know what? In the meantime, we need some background music. It's crazy how these streams are so volatile as far as like concurrentness. Was that background music too loud or is that good right there? You know, just nothing crazy, a little subtle. And that's good right there. In the meantime, nothing we can do is look at the investing edge. So let's go over to investing and let's check out. Actually, yeah. So this is that's not the latest one. Yeah, it'll be the latest one when I visit the site. All right. See what we got here. VLO. Refresh it real quick. No, we don't charge 25 anymore. And we have never in my life charged below market. Anyone who's ever studied my strategies, we always charge market rate minimum. Always. So I think we're at $30 or $35 now for a haircut, which is a little bit above or right at market rate. And that's the point I'm making. You're charging too much. Maybe that's the problem. You shouldn't be above market rates if you don't have demand. You know, that's kind of the point I'm trying to make here. What good is being $60, $70, $100 if you're making less than pretty much every one of my barbers? What good is that? Oh, I don't want to do 15 haircuts in a day. So don't. Their average ticket's $45. That's probably their average ticket. 10 haircuts, that's $450 a day. You know, it's not crazy money, but it's pretty good. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but whether I'm doing 10, 15, 20 haircuts in a day, if I'm working 9 hours or 8 hours or 10 hours, I want to be working. And a lot of you guys are doing less haircuts for more money and still on your feet all day because you're doing 1 hour appointments. Like, it all sounds good, but at the end of the year, what does your profit and loss statement look like? And for most of y'all, you guys are doing all these strategies because you're thinking about short-term returns, not realizing over a long period of time, you're doing yourself a disservice. I want to be booked during bad economic times, and I want to be booming during great economic times. All right, so this is something that if you are in 6FB, you're gonna get this pretty much every business day, and it is. I pay about $500 a month to get direct access to the stock market, whether that's options, whether that's just regular stocks or indices, and all the data gets brought into here. And what it does is it filters through, hundreds. Like right here is 452 stocks were scanned. Okay, 78 passed the entry test, and you can see. Like it tells you what the entry test is. Let's zoom in a bit. So the entry test is the stock must be in confirmed uptrend. Okay, it has to be up over the past year and actually profitable. Most names fail this on purpose. So 78 passed that test. Then 12 passed the background check. What's the background check? The background check is the top rated names, accounting red flags. So it looks at financials. It looks at SEC filing alerts. It looks at executive turnover, heavy short selling. Okay, so 12 passed that background check. So we're looking at 12 picks now, and these are the 12 that made it. You have Valero Urgency, you have INCY, you have Google, and you can even see we have charts in here for you guys to see, how it's trending, how the trend was confirmed. So this isn't to give you picks. This is to do a lot of the hard work. Warren Buffett talks about how he didn't use a computer. He didn't use none of that. He just looked at papers all day. He looked at I forget the company that he bought. He would buy their services, and he'd read this shit all day, go through hundreds of these reports all day to find good companies. This does all the work for you. Thank God for 2026 and technology. All right, so now this one is buy and hold, but keep your eyes open. So you might want to go in here and you want to do your own due diligence, but this just brings it up front, easy, quick for you to review. Okay, but fact checked all of this. All right, now you have INCY, Insight Corporation, same thing. Fact checked all of it. Fact check all of it. All right, what's this one? Google. The Alphabet Inc. Okay, this must be a different tiered stock here. Marathon Petroleum Corporation. So far, none of them have, it looks like, call options. Johnson & Johnson's such a good company. This is just a great company. Like, this is a great company. Look, even if you would have bought, and everybody says, like, this is not a growth stock. I get it. You would have bought this shit a year ago. You'd be at almost doubling your money right now. No, you'd be up 51% in the last year. Nucor, Ross Stores. Who would have thought Ross would be on here? Ross is up 84.5% for the year. Yeah, but we charge the same, but that doesn't mean in your market you're at market rate. You even at $30, $35, you might be above market rates. I don't know where you live. If you live in Winfield, Kansas, you're probably above market rates. Ooh, Monster. What's Monster up? Monster's up 59.4%. I ain't gonna lie, Monster been in their bag. These are never in stock. This is the Coca-Cola of energy drinks. But none of them are screaming, okay, Target. What? Do you know how bad Target has been for the longest time? I need to look into Target because I was always wondering. They got canceled. during COVID and they never recovered. I'm like, man, but I love going to Target. It's a good product. It's a good business, but maybe it's not. Leadership drove it to the ground, right? But I always thought this is I love going to Target. I go to Target over Walmart, over any other store. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's a way better experience. And now it's on an uptrend because look, it stayed flat. Like I need to make this chart so I can go further back. But I mean, this shit was flat for the longest time, bro. Flat. And then, it's popped lately. Lately, it has popped. Okay. But yeah, if you really want to dig deeper into this stuff, I'm not investing right now because I'm in the process of purchasing a property. So a lot of my capital is going into that. It's a nice one. God willing, everything goes smoothly and I get this property. But this is generational shit if I can get it. Shout out to everybody involved. You lying though if you're saying the economy hasn't been in downward trend for the average American. Of course you do good yourself, so you're not gonna feel like us normies. Brother, I just showed you 95 barbers. I'm not even talking about myself. I told you, I'm not talking about the average American. I'm talking about barbers. Why do you have this? Why are you so hard-headed on this? Why are you looking for any excuse? None of what you're saying is even relevant to what I'm saying. %50 of Americans don't even pay taxes. Did you know that? So I know the situation, and that's because of their income. So I know people are struggling. I know groceries are down. Are bad. Gas prices are starting to come down, but I know gas prices were up. I know there've been a lot of layoffs and stuff, but I also know we're at a low employment rate. I also know the stock market is booming. Let's not even debate this. Let's look it up. Okay. Is cost of living up? Of course, yes. It's hard to buy a house these days. Cost of living's way up. I get that. But everything is up, including your haircut prices. It should be, right? So, and people need haircuts. I'm just telling you that at 11 barbershops that I'm currently collecting data from here in one city of Tampa, where it's not the richest city in the world, and I just showed you 95 barbers, and they're almost 90% booked today. This is 100 barbers. This isn't me. So if you're at a reasonable price, which is market rates, people still need haircuts. They're going to go get a haircut. Are they going to struggle for that haircut? Yes. But does that mean they're not going to get a haircut? No. They're going to get a haircut. And this has been a thing forever. Economies are great, and then they're bad. Then they're great, and then they're bad. I went through a recession. Have you ever been through a recession? How old are you, Chewable? I went through a recession. You want to talk about bad economy and people struggling? This ain't shit. You should have seen what a recession felt like. Homes were empty. Everyone lost their house. You go to any street and every house was empty because they lost their homes. People's cars were getting repoed left and right. And it wasn't every now and then. It was like, talk to 3 people, somebody lost their home out of those 3 people. Talk to 3 people, somebody just got their car repoed. That's how it was. And guess what? I opened 3 barbershops in that economy. People were struggling. But that is life, and it's never going to stop. Eventually, the economy is going to be great again for the average person. And then guess what? It's going to get bad. So, I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. You don't got to agree with me, but I didn't start off doing good for myself. If you know my story, I started in the negative. All right, let's see if my coding agents have seen any progress here. All right, cool. All right, I'm not quite sure what's going on here. All right, you guys ready? Why is it not connecting? I don't know why it's not connecting. No música, no música. There it goes. All right, let's see what's here. This is this delayed? This gotta be delayed. Chewable, this gotta be super delayed. I'm not understanding why you typed that. The stock market was 5% of what I said. All right, bro. All right, bro. You got it. I can't help you, bro. Oh wait, didn't have AI and automation. You think the economy is worse now? You think AI? You think AI is AI is worse than what happened in 2001, in 2008, COVID, 2019? So you think 2026 is worse than all that? All right, bro. We're always hiring. We're always hiring. You gotta be in Tampa, but we're always hiring. I think we just opened a new location a couple weeks ago, and so there's some chairs open there, and there's some chairs in Tampa Palms. We probably right now have 15 chairs open right now, and it's not because we've lost barbers, because we've opened 2 barbershops in the last 6 months. So, yeah, I don't know how old Chewable is, but there's no way he was old enough to even experience that. No way. Saying something like this. Not attacking you either, bro. I'm just, it's just the way people think about things sometimes. But speaking of AI, how much are you guys participating in that? How much you guys educating yourself? AI, I don't think it's gonna replace jobs. Don't get me wrong, but I think what it's mostly gonna do is create a lot of opportunity. It's no different than a lot of things that were kind of phased out, jobs that don't exist anymore that existed 10 years ago, right? and somehow unemployment is still low. All right, let's see if this thing is working like he says it is. So let's get the control room. Oh yeah, we live. So this is how I know we live, because there's a banner now that says the Bossio Standard is on air. Isn't that cool? So let me sign in. Head over to this and yeah, we're good. We're good to go. All righty, let's go ahead and check this video out.
Are struggling across the country, and a lot of them are closing their doors permanently. Customers are just not showing up because people just don't have money to spend like they used to.
Any type of licensed professional looking for a chair for rent in the Las Vegas area, 7 minutes from the strip, please give me a call. Jump in my DM or something. I got $100 booth rent. $100. Get at me.
So I went to the barbershop and he
My thing is, how does that, an empty barbershop that's booth rent, how does that determine that barbershops are slow? That's always been most barbershops are failing, and it's always been that way. Chewball, you may not know this. I own an accounting firm. We have over 300, close to 350 barbers and shop owners that are clients of ours. And, a lot of them are struggling. Some of them because they're commission and they switch to booth rent, they're doing better now. Or they're booth rent and they switch to commission, they're doing better now. It just depends on their situation. But, it's always been an issue. You go around Tampa and there's a lot of empty shops, a lot of ones that close, a lot that sell to us. And Osho, that's a good point. But I also know downstairs there are 5 Michelin star restaurants downstairs where I live on the same street. Look up Water Street in Tampa. You have the Pearl, that's a Michelin star. You have Boulan, Michelin star. Predalina, Michelin star. There's a restaurant in the Addition that's a Michelin star. So there's 4 Michelin star restaurants here on this street, and them shits are booming. You see, business is not just overpriced inferior product, because some of these restaurants I don't even like. Sometimes it's a little bit of all of that, right? People come up with their business models and just open a shop wherever, don't realize they're not serving those customers in that area. That demographic does not want the product you're trying to sell them. Build it and they will come doesn't always work if you're in the wrong zip code. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes it's just bad business. I see it all the time. All right, let's keep watching this.
Are just not showing up because people just don't have money to spend like they used to.
Any type of licensed professional looking for a chair for rent in the Las Vegas area, 7 minutes from the strip, please give me a call. Jump in my DM or something. I got $100 booth rent. $100. Get at me.
So I went to the barbershop and he charged me $80. I don't think it's worth it. How the fuck is it $80 to cut a taper and a lineup, bro? And he put in enhancements. I never asked for that shit.
I think it's crazy to complain that another man charged too much for anything. I'll never look at another man like that's the most hated shit ever. to look at another man and be like, you make too much or you charge too much. Like, when did...
How is how is you make too much and you charge too much the same thing? This is what barbers convince themselves, that making too much and charging too much is not the same thing. You can charge too much and not make shit. Or you can make a whole lot of money and not charge that much.
Do.
Any type of licensed professional looking for a chair for rent in the Las Vegas area, 7 minutes from the strip.
I went to the barbershop and
I think it's crazy to complain that another man charges too much for anything. I'll never look at another man, like, that's the most hated shit ever. To look at another man and be like, you make too much or you charge too much. Like, when was that ever okay to do?
Bro, you can go ahead and run your business the way you want to run it, and it's fine. We all have the right to do whatever we want to do. But I just want to let you know this. You think, just because things are going up, you think that it's okay for you to charge $100 for a freaking fade that's gonna last you 4 days? And you want to compare it with, oh, well, you know, you go buy Nikes or you buy this and that. Dude, it's a haircut. You're a scammer. You're greedy. I mean, you're trying to get rich over one damn haircut, and you're lazy on top of that because...
I don't like that logic either. Some people should be charging $100. There's restaurants that charge $10 for a burger. There's restaurants that charge $30 for a burger, and both of them are busy and both of them serve different purposes. You don't want the $30 burger, don't bring your ass down here to Boulan. But there's some amazing burgers too. You're just not gonna get the ambiance. You're not gonna get the Wagyu beef. You're not gonna get the table side service, all that jazz, cocktails. But you're gonna get a damn good burger. I'm not gonna make a video about a chef charging $30 for a burger because it's not as good or is the same quality or a little bit better than the $10 one, saying it's not worth it. Like,
Too much for anything.
But people
I'll never look
struggle.
at another man, like, that's the most hated shit ever. To look at another
business the way you want to run it, and it's fine. We all have the right to do whatever we want to do. That it's okay for you to charge $100 for a freaking fade that's gonna last you 4 days, and you want to compare it with, oh, well, you know, you go buy Nikes or you buy this and that. Dude, it's a haircut. You're a scammer. You're greedy.
Yeah, calling them a scammer is crazy.
I mean, you're trying to get rich over one damn haircut, and you're lazy on top of that because your fade is no different than the other fades that are already out there anyways. They charge like
So
30
don't
bucks.
go.
You're not special. You're not doing something special.
If they're
Because you're
booked,
lazy,
they
you
are.
only want to have 2 haircuts a day, so you can go on with your day and already win $200, or 5, so you can pay $500, and you call it a day. You want your life an easy mode by being greedy and conning people.
Stupid.
Dude, are you kidding me?
bro, this ain't that great.
This so stupid. In 2018, I was charging $100 a haircut, and booked. But I cut hair for a long time. I started at 14, then 18, then 23, then 30. Then I was so booked up, bro. I was doing 100 haircuts a week. I went up to 60, and I was still booked, and I couldn't work that much. I had to slow down. I went up to 100 because I wanted to lose clients, and I was still booked. So that's why I say demand is what matters here. Some barbers are worth $100, but what's happening and what a lot of people are complaining about is that everybody saw people like myself doing that 10 years ago and thinking, yeah, let me just turn that let me just flip that switch. There was work behind that. There was data that backed these price raises up. So, let's see. Do y'all learn at your barber school, or do they skip the? Every barber school is gonna be different. Most of them you're not gonna learn that much. Some of them are amazing. You're gonna learn a bunch. But the main thing I would say to combat that, just in case, always just try to find a barber school that has a lot of walk-in traffic, so you at least get repetition. Because you can learn from online. You can learn. There's a lot of resources to learn, but that practice, that hands-on practice, is what really matters, you know. And anything above that is super amazing. I think that should be the standard, but most barber schools say, you know, the only thing they're trying to do is help you get pass a test, because that's how they get, you know, they keep their accreditations and their financial aid stuff. So they just do the bare minimum. If you've seen Toy Story 5, the lesson is to have a healthy balance of tech and old school. I was against AI till I found out how to properly incorporate it and not be dependent upon it. Man, I do so much with AI. Look, AI is only going to enhance what you already are. If you suck, you're going to just be releasing a whole lot of slop. If you're creative, if you're a go-getter, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're willing to take risks, if you're willing to put money and invest in yourself, AI can open a lot of doors for you. What's interesting is that it's really the white collar jobs that are getting replaced because that's where the money's at. The blue collar jobs are the new move. Isn't that funny how it kind of blue collar was frowned upon for the longest. Now it's like you become anything, you get a trade, 6 figures, baby, easy. Plumber, electrician, HVAC. You own one of those companies and you incorporate AI, it's a wrap. Okay. All right, let's get back to
Lazy, you only want to have 2 haircuts a day so you can go on with your day and already win $200, or 5 so you can pay $500, and you call it a day. You want your life an easy mode by being greedy and conning people. Dude, are you kidding me?
Bro, this ain't that great of a skill, man. I'm sorry to all you barbers out there, man. Yo, I got mad love.
What you mean it's not that good of a skill? Do you know how hard it is to be able? What? It's a very difficult skill. The amount of hair textures, the amount of shit you gotta know, the sanitation, the laws, the regulation, the head shapes, hair textures, techniques, the styles you gotta learn, the standard we're held to. And then on top of that, you gotta be people's therapist. You gotta be there. You gotta be there and listen to bullshit. You got the customers. You gotta deal with bullshit. Nah, man, stop that. You may not agree with some shit, but please don't do that.
Without a tip. And I'm sitting there like, I'm willing to go 40. I might even go 50 with the tip if you do a really good job, but you cannot start off with no $60, man.
Yeah,
Y'all have lost your mind, okay?
Just don't go there.
They're talking about their value and their worth, and maybe you don't fit in over here. Maybe you should get somebody that you can afford.
Yes.
Their value. I'm like, this is the most divaed out profession that I've encountered since hairdressers. I guess there was a thin line back in the days. I mean, in the 80s, when we were young kids, me and my little crew, man, 5 of us, man, and we wanted to stay fresh. So we'd go get, we go to our barbershops. Back then, man, you could get a cut for $5, man, $8, $10 max, man. You go to the bar.
This is why you can't be watching shit like this, guys. This man got to be 50 years old. 45, 50 years old. When you were a kid, it was 1995. It was 1995, bro. You could rent an apartment for $600 a month. You could get a cheeseburger for 50 cents. At McDonald's. A Big Mac meal was $4.50. Now a Big Mac meal is $15. Please don't listen to these people. Some of these people I agree with.
So we go get, we go to our barbershops. Back then, man, you could get a cut for $5, man, $8, $10 Max, man, you go to the barber school, let them experiment on you, man. That's what poor black kids did in my hood.
This is why a haircut ain't $20 no more. One, this clipper, $80, blade, $50. Shaver, $90. Master clipper, $60.
I'm not a fan of that argument either. I'm not a fan of that argument either. Like, people are gonna call me crazy, but our tools are not expensive. You want expensive tools? Mechanics have expensive tools. Plumbers have expensive tools. Some of these tools are thousands of dollars each. Barbers will charge $100 a cut and complain about a $200 clipper being too expensive. Barbers are the type that are their own boss and then complain when they don't have employee benefits. Stop making these videos. Your customers don't care how much your tools are. Now, the one thing that people don't realize that barbers need to mention a lot more is how expensive barber school is. Most people, I remember when COVID happened, our own governor didn't even know that we had to go to school for a year. A lot of us were spending $20,000 on barber school, and 50% of it, 60% of it was sanitation. But you got barber shops closed like we're the theme parks. Like we're concerts. We're so unsan. But I don't like this argument.
$80, blade, $40. Blow dryer, $100. And the most expensive thing of all is the barber license. The education cost me almost $20,000. So don't talk to me about the prices, about no haircut.
Barbers and barbershops are finished in 2026, man. I feel bad for that industry. Let me explain to you guys why. So I made a video, right, complaining about barber prices and how TikTok got in these barbers' heads, man, and really allowed them to believe that they were all celebrity barbers, bro. Charging some people up to $100 a head, which it got insane, right? And the video obviously went viral, and I was shocked. I didn't think it was gonna get that many views, man. I got almost 2,000 comments of everybody saying this is exactly why I learned to cut my own hair. A lot of people have already been cutting their hair for over a year, 2 years. Some people just bought their clippers. A lot of people are saying I'll go once a month because it's just insane how much.
$40. Blow dryer.
That's the other part. That's another argument that's just so ridiculous. There's always going to be people that cut their own hair. That is so painful to them. They don't want to go to Great Clips because they don't like the way that they cut their hair. They don't want to go through the troubles of finding a barber shop that charges $30. They want the best barber that they can find, and then they find out he's charging $100. Or they just walk into a random shop. And I don't get why barbers do that either. Like, if you're charging $100, you shouldn't be taking walk-ins, bro. People had to book me a week, 2 weeks in advance. Find me on social media, wherever, word of mouth, and they had to book me because I was $100 because I was in demand. But you got walk-ins coming in and you just cutting their hair, no warning, then hitting them with the $100 bill is crazy work. But a lot of barbers do that shit, and they wrong for that. Now, I just don't like this. That's why most people cut now people are cutting their own hair. People have been cutting their hair forever. Do you know Wall's best-selling clipper is not a professional clipper? It's on your Walmart shelf. And its #1 selling clipper is on a Walmart shelf. Conair's #1 selling clipper, Babyliss' #1 clipper, it's probably 245s. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. It's probably on a Walmart shelf, or it's 245s. No different than most of my friends will mow their own lawn, will clean their own pools. I ain't doing that. Some people do it because it's like therapy or it's a hobby of theirs. They enjoy it. I've been doing YouTube tutorials for over a decade. I mean, I did it not anymore, but I've done it. I did it for like a decade. You think the videos that were doing 2-3 million views were barbers? There ain't even that many barbers that exist in this country, in North America. Those were people who were trying to learn how to cut their own hair. Some of them loved it so much they became barbers because of it. Some of them just was cutting their own kids. They got good enough to do that. But trust me, they're not at the level that I was or these elite barbers are. Not even close. It takes years to get to that level. Could you get pretty good at cutting your own hair the same style? Of course. But every head shape, every hair texture, every imperfection, no, it's not happening. I'm not mowing my own lawn. I'm not cleaning my own pools. And it takes way more skill to learn how to do your own haircuts than it does to clean your own pool or cut your own hair. I mean, or mow your own lawn. It takes way more time, way more sacrifice, way more practice to do that. So
go through clippers. A lot of people are saying I'll go once a month because it's just insane how much they're charging, right? And I said that I don't believe any barber should charge more than $30 a haircut, period. And that includes your beard, right? Like the whole thing should only cost $30. Once you're charging $50, $100.
Why are we listening to this guy, bro? Oh my God.
Understand inflation and you got to get your money. But barbers, y'all getting out of control with these prices. I had to go to 3 barbershops. The first 2 was talking about charging me $80 for 1.5, a high taper, and a beard trim. You serious? The last guy charged me $40, which was cool. I don't mind paying that. And I slid him a tip. So it came out to like $50. And the shit came out clean, you feel me? But $80? Yeah, you crazy. I never in my life, I don't care how bad the economy is, I ain't never paying that much.
Guys.
Are you guys just walking into shops? It's 2026. Do your research. Go on their site, go on their app, look at their prices, look at the quality of their work. Are you walking into shops and debating with people about their prices? Why? Man, I hope my son never do that.
Paying that much.
Guys, this barbershop right here is just one example of how barbershops are absolutely taking advantage.
Taking advantage.
So what happened was, you see that guy, how he had to get all gangster and stuff? It's like it's 2026, homeboy. But dude, I went and got a haircut there. A haircut and a trim was $75. Now I'm just shaving my head. I'm not giving someone $75 to give me a shitty fade and trim my tiny beard. That is highway robbery. My entire life, you went to a barbershop, you paid $25, you gave him a $5 tip, or you paid $30 and you gave him a $5, whatever. It was never more than $40 with the tip. And now they're charging a beard. If you have any facial hair and they even touch it, it's like getting 2 haircuts. And that's not just the one I showed. There's been a couple of them. So like boycott barbershops, man.
Barbershops are getting way too out of control with these prices. There's no reason I should go into a barbershop and their prices is $50 plus, not even including tip. Like what? I remember back in like 2018, 2019, I would go to a barbershop and it would be $20 and I'd leave like a $10 tip, $30 max. It's like, what's going on? What happened? And I know, COVID-19, all of that, inflation, but from prices to go from a $20 haircut to a $50 haircut plus, I just don't understand. And a lot of times too, barbers will use enhancements and then try to like sneak it in or add it on. And I mean, like I appreciate it when my barber does, like shout out to Juju, he's solid, I don't care. But, a lot of times these enhancements, you'll put it on and like you'll look good, but I'm gonna go home and wash my hair. Like I might take 2 pictures with this and then wash my hair, get the, the cut hair out. So it's going to be going within like a few hours. So, then on top of it, we paying $50 plus and the haircut is hair. It's hair. It grows back within a week and a half. I got my haircut a couple of days.
Imagine that logic with restaurants. I'm not eating no $80 steak because I'm just going to eat that and digest it in an hour. You pay $50 for a cut, bro. You do it every 2 weeks. That's $100 a month to always look good. It's $100 a month to always look good. To always look put together. To always have a nice quality, fresh cut. Some people value that. Some don't. Some will spend $100 a month on a video game. Some will spend $100 a month on, spend $100 a weekend. No, $100 a night. 3 times a week on drinks, on weed. You know where we messed up is we were cheap for far too long, and we let people get so comfortable with it. People who demanded the best quality. Blows my mind.
Whatever. It was never more than 40 with the tip.
Sometimes too, barbers will use enhancements and then try to like sneak it in. You're paying $50 plus, and the haircut is hair. It's hair. It grows back within a week and a half. You know, I got my haircut a couple days ago, and you know, it's already starting to come back in, and it's like, you know, for $50 every 2 weeks is crazy. $100, that's a bill. That's a bill. Even at, you know, $50, that's a bill. That's why you see me get my haircut maybe once a month, if that. I started getting my haircut every like 1.5 months, if not 2 months. That's the whole reason that I had grown my hair out in the first place previously. So, you know, it's crazy out here. I don't know. I need Kamala Harris to crack down on barbershop prices or something. Put some, you know, inflation
Kamala
reduction
Harris,
rates
Yeah.
on these barber prices.
Why we
'cause I
listening
can't
to
do
this
it no
dude?
more.
Y'all know what
That's
my
how
issue
I
with barbers is? They're delusional, man. I got a haircut yesterday, 2 days ago, and I don't know if it's the lighting, but I don't know. I didn't really see it when I left, but after I took a shower and then combed my hair and got ready to go out or whatever, that's when it hit me. Y'all see this one, right? It's blended pretty decently, but now look at this. Y'all see this line? That's not supposed to be there. All of these barbers think they're so good. It's like cognitive bias. It's like that Dunning-Kruger effect, where you suck at your job, but you're so delusional that you think you're good, and your prices at $50, $60, $70, $100 are justified.
Barbers, I don't care if you come in 1 day a week. I don't care if you go on vacation for a month. I don't care what you do with your time, as long as you pay your booth rent on time. Going on vacation is not a reason to not pay your booth rent. Like, you have money to go to Miami for 2 weeks, but you don't have the $300 that you owe the barbershop for booth rent. That's not how this works. Barbers think because they're not at work or they didn't decide to work that week that they shouldn't be paying their booth rent. No, that is a you problem. And chances are, if you don't pay your booth rent before you decide to go on vacation or take time off, you won't have a booth to rent by the time you return. At least not in my shop, I promise you. Like, yeah, no, y'all bugging. Like, the barbershop owner just supposed to take the hit because you decided to go on vacation? I don't think so. Pay your booth rent and be responsible and handle your business. If not, go open your own.
Everybody thinks that I'm against the booth rent commission model and all that. They think I'm just anti-booth rent. But let's talk about this for a second. Here's what I'm actually against. I think.
But that's what I mean about barbers who they won't spend money on their tools. Everything's too expensive, but they want to be expensive. Right? They don't want to be told to do what to do. They want to be self-employed, but don't want to pay booth rent when it's inconvenient. Like shop owners get to do that with their landlords. It's just human. It's just humans, bro. Humans are funny. Funny.
See it when I left, but after I took a shower and then combed my hair and got ready to go out or whatever, that's when it $50, $60, $70, $100 are justified.
Barbers, I don't care if you come in 1 day a week. I don't care if you go on vacation for a month. I don't care what you do with your time, as long as you pay your booth rent on time. Going on vacation is not a reason to not pay your booth rent. Like, you have money to go to Miami for 2 weeks, but you don't have the $300 that you owe the barbershop for booth rent. That's not how this works. Barbers think because they're not at work or they didn't decide to work that week that they shouldn't be paying their booth rent. No, that is a you problem. And chances are, if you don't pay your booth rent before you decide to go on vacation or take time off, you won't have a booth to rent by the time you return. At least not in my shop, I promise you. Like, yeah, no, y'all bugging. Like, the barbershop owner just supposed to take the hit because you decided to go on vacation? I don't think so. Pay your booth rent and be responsible and handle your business. If not, go open your own.
I'll say this.
Everybody thinks that I'm against the booth rent commission model and all that. They think I'm just anti-booth rent. But let's talk about this for a second. Here's what I'm actually against. I think the booth rent model is dead because suites have killed it. It's not a commission thing. This is booth rent is dead. Because I'm going to ask you, why would you go to a booth rent shop when you can go get your own suite for the same price? You control the vibe.
Will, I love you, but I don't get that logic. If suites killed booth rent, what do you think they did to commission? Let's say I'm a barber. I'm the average barber. I'm making $70,000 a year. and I'm on and I'm on booth rent. The only reason why those booth rent barbers usually go to suites is for a couple reasons. Few reasons. They're slow. They shouldn't be going to a booth. They shouldn't be going to a suite if they slow. They're gonna be slower in a suite because you can't get walk-ins. It's gonna be very difficult to get walk-ins. Or the barbershop that they work at is unprofessional, meaning it's ghetto. The shop owner ain't owning. They just a barber who opened up a shop. They're not doing nothing as far as marketing. They're not doing nothing professional. They ain't paying their landlord. Or they want privacy. Those first two can be fixed with good ownership, with good leadership all day. You can have culture, you can have all that all day. The only difference between a 1099 commission shop and a 1099 booth rent shop is the compensation plan, which means if I'm a barber making $70,000 a year and I'm a 1099 commission, that means I'm still my own boss. You still can't tell me. You still have to operate under the same rules as a 1099 booth rent shop, which means I'm not your employee. Okay, why would I give you 40% of my revenues of my service revenues when I can just pay booth rent? Let's just assume it's a great environment, it's a great shop, good ownership. Why would I leave a booth rent shop to go to a suite or to a commission shop? Let's assume the booth rent shop checks all the boxes. The only reason why I would leave is because I value privacy more. And I'm willing to pay a premium on top of that because 90% of suites are more expensive than booth rent shops. So you're willing to pay more for that privacy. That's the difference. That's it. But if suites have heard booth rent shops, they definitely heard commission shops. Because as soon as I'm booked, you think I'm going to still pay 40%, 30%? Nah. Unless there's a cap on my commission and it's in a zip code like I don't know, Beverly Hills, or I'm in the damn Empire State. I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm in crazy expensive real estate. That makes sense then. And I can charge a whole bunch more because of the real estate that I'm in. Like I was telling you guys, this street right here, if you wanted to rent 1,000 square feet in a commercial building here, you're paying $15,000 a month. I ain't opening no booth rent shop here. It's got to be commission. But you're going to be charging 70, 80, $100 a cut because the household income here is like $200K a year. Understand? Understood? Good? All right, cool. Let's get back to it. Am I tripping?
This for a second. Here's what I'm actually against.
Y'all
I
agree
think
or
the
disagree?
booth rent model is dead because suites have killed it. It's not a commission thing. This is booth rent is dead. Because I'm gonna ask you, why would you go to a booth rent shop when you can go get your own suite for the same price? You control the
You
vibe.
can't. Most
you
people
control
can't.
the cleanliness. You control the paint colors, the design. You control your entire schedule as far as like when you want to come in, when you don't want to.
Well, the thing is too, when you go into booth rent, you pay your first week booth, and that's it. When you go to a suite, you got to put security deposits. You got to sign a lease. You got construction costs. You got to paint the place. You got to make it all your own shit. You got to have some bread to do it. Most people can't do that. Most people don't want to do that. They don't own it. But the people who do want to do it, they'll pay a monthly premium. They'll put the money up, and it's because they want privacy to be able to do all those things. But that's not an argument for why booth rent's inferior to commission or why booth rent shops are struggling. Booth rent shops are always going to be around. You'll never not see them. They're always going to be a thing.
I think the booth rent model is dead because suites have killed it. Commission is so great. Now, it is great for a beginner barber, but everybody in the comments has already admitted that, right? And if you look at the situations, most people want to get their career off to a rocket fast start. Commission is the best way to go. We probably all agree.
Why is commission the best way to go for people who are starting off? That makes no sense to me. First of all, you don't want to chair hop. You don't want to chair hop. So what you're saying is it's commission is best for people who are starting off. But as soon as you get established, you should leave? Or is it always better? Is commission always better than booth rent? Or is commission better for people who are starting off and then you should leave once you're established? So you can go to booth rent or suite. But when I lease a building, when I lease a unit in a building, they don't charge me full rent the first month. We do a rent ramp, or I get free rent for a period of time until I get established. So why is commission better for people starting off? If you're a booth rent shop and you got a new barber coming in, give them free rent for a couple weeks, for a few weeks, for a month, till they get established. And then ramp them up as they're getting established. Doesn't that solve that problem? So now which one's better for barbers starting off? They both work for barbers starting off. And I would argue booth rent is better for barbers starting off because you don't want to chair hop. You want to establish yourself, plant your roots, and you want to stay at that location and build your clientele and not be a chair hopper.
But if you're an owner, man, the booth rent shop, don't you dare open up another one because it's a dying business model and the suites are taking over for the booth rent. It's replacing it. So I'm arguing suites and a commission model, depending on where you're at in your career. That's all I'm saying.
And I hate that. A suite, you're going to need way more square footage for the same profits. Way more square footage, way more CapEx, way more OpEx for the same profits, if not less profit. Because you said it yourself. That a barber is going to pay the same rent, booth rent, as a suite. I disagree. I think suites 90% of the time charge more, but it ain't that much more. We charge $325. Suites in this area charge $350, $400, right? It ain't that much more, but you know what is that much more? OpEx, because the rent, you got to pay for the square footage. CapEx, well, construction on 3,000 square feet is a lot more than construction on 1,000 square feet. Why would I do that? There's 94 barbers working today at our shops, and they pay $325 a week. We have more. We have 102, I think, 103 barbers working at Headlines. This is not normal by any means. I built this over the course of 10 years, and it was like my side hustle because I was building Tune 45 and my YouTube channel and all that stuff. But the tortoise, little by little, can build into something crazy that scales, that doesn't have a high turnover. Our barbers, in these 11 shops are 89.6 booked today. 89.6% booked today. Our typical client returns every 2.7 weeks. It looks like this business model is working, and all the business models work, but you got to be serious about that business model. You have to be serious about it. If you're not serious about it and you look at any of the convenient reasons why you think it doesn't work well, and it's going to be true for you, but a lot of this stuff, I mean, he's kind of contradicted. He is contradicting himself in a lot of this video. So let's keep watching.
And a commission model, depending on where you're at in your career. That's all I'm saying.
The tough part about opening a barbershop in a small town or small city is Finding barbers. I opened up a barbershop in Natchitoches, Louisiana, and like I said, like there's no barber. The barber culture in Louisiana.
This is why I say, depending on your zip code. Depending on your zip code, right? So what I tell a lot of the barbers that are planning on opening a shop in a small town, I would do commission because it's going to be hard to find barbers. It's going to be hard to fill a 10, 11, 12, 15 chair shop like you can. And I'm not small town. I'm not saying small town is not what a lot of people think small towns are. People will show me a town that's 30,000, population 30,000, say that's a small town. It's not. We're in Land O'Lakes with 2 locations or 3 locations. Population 33,000. Now it's a suburb outside of Tampa Bay. But I think that if there's no schools around, if there's no way to spin up, student barbers, and that's a situation for a lot of people. There's a lot of people don't realize there are barbers who have to drive to a whole nother state to go to barber school. And obviously it's not like driving from the bottom of Florida to the top, to the bottom of Georgia. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about 2-hour drive, hour and a half drive just to go to barber school. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not good. All right, let me see what's going on here.
Barbers. I opened up a barbershop in Natchitoches, Louisiana, and
all right, so so that's why I say commission for those barbers, those barbershops. A lot of times there's a bunch of variables. I told you a variable for commission, argument for commission, where it's very high income area, the rent's expensive, but the average service ticket is going to be much higher because of the demographics, right? And so barbers still will have a 6-figure opportunity because of the prices. So it's a win-win-win situation. Now, another variable is it a small town? Like, you can't find barbers. There's 5 barbers in the whole town. Yeah, you got to do a commission shop. Or get your ass in a suite or cut or build something for yourself. But I follow the money. So, but if you're in a small town near, it's near a metropolitan area, then I would still open a barbershop and I would scale towards that direction if I wanted to have multiple locations.
I said, like, there's no barber. The barber culture in Louisiana is like so far behind, like it's almost non-existent. I will say this, I kind of feel like I've been having to create that culture and that atmosphere here in Louisiana, and I kind of have been having to be the new wave of pioneers for barbers here. And I know that sounds a little arrogant, but it's the truth. Like, I think I brought a whole new wave because, like, we do have like those traditional like older barbers here. We also have those we have the unprofessional barbers, is the best way that I can explain it. And the reason it's like that is because there's not really any young kids trying to get into this industry yet. Like here, whenever you're in high school and you're about to graduate, the main thing like people are wanting to do is like welding, going to the oil rig, anything but barbering. And to top it off, there's not really a barber school around here. Like there's a few, but you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I don't personally think that they do a good job of portraying the true industry and showing them the true success that they can reach as a barber.
Man, shout out to George, bro. George is exactly who people should be emulating if they're in a small town. I watched George for years in the same building, show up to the same buildings I was in every single year. He was at CT. He was at the premiere. He was getting educated. He couldn't get it in his town, so he had to go get it somewhere else and then bring it to his town. This is what I mean by, bro, you can have all the excuses, but it's your mentality, bro. It's your mindset. It's your mindset. Shit is rough for you. Think I didn't go through trials and tribulations and challenges and struggles. We all do. All of us do, and we're gonna go through seasons that are good and bad. And you gotta think about that shit when you're Is my computer messing up? Is my stream messed up, guys? My sound just cut off. Did some weird shit just now. Yo, yo, yo. Let me see. Yo, yo, yo. All right, there we go. We're back. Computer's messing up.
Of course, here in Louisiana, we have this program called apprenticeship. So you're able to go work under a licensed barber and essentially do your schoolwork and build up your clientele at the same time. And that's how I was able to get my license. Another guy that works with me, he did an apprenticeship through me. He was able to get his where now he's getting another apprentice, and they're young kids, so that does make me happy that it kind of is starting to turn finally. Like, there are young kids like interested in it, and these two guys have been with me for a couple years now. Like, they're killing it. Like, they're doing great. And while the apprenticeship program is great, it sucks because we're only able to take one apprentice per license. So even if there were more kids wanting to do barbering, they would have to wait 2 years. If like all of us already have an apprentice, they would have to wait 2 years before we can get them into our program, right? So it's a pretty good process. And I don't know, like, I've had very great blessings from being a barber. I've made a great career out of it. And I want to share that with other people, but I'm starting to like doubt it because I'm like, yo, like, I don't know, like, if I want to be the pioneer here, bro, because it does suck. So I got this barbershop. On top of that, like, if I don't have barbers in here, then the bills keep on acquiring, right? And I'm trying to figure that part out. I'm trying to see where I'm going with all this.
It seems like we're just going to continue on this trend for a while, so we're probably going to continue to see a lot of these types of closures. If you know any personal barbershops or salons that have been closing down in your area, share down below, and I hope to catch you guys in the next video. Take care.
Yeah, share. I'll buy them and turn them around, bro. Like, no, I'm just kidding. We have done that though. We have done that a couple times. But I don't like buying other people's stuff anymore. I like building my own shit. So sometimes it's a good solution, but let me go to her page. I want to see what her channel's about. I wonder what she's going to do, or if she ever does. People are doing so good right now and they can't believe it. You know, everything is. Let's look at her oldest stuff. Okay. So they're doing homestead. It makes sense. She's a homestead person, so do doomsday stuff so that people will want to watch your homestead stuff because you're saving money, you're frugal. This is your lifestyle. And this is when her channel started taking off. And she's so smart because she just puts herself in the beginning and then at the end. And for a year, it's all been doomsday. And people eat this shit up. Eat it up. How's the stream going now, guys? Hopefully it's better. Sorry about that. This guy's got the same people in his videos, it looks like. They're just kind of, if you look at the thumbnail here, they're just kind of reusing the same complaints. Barbers and barbershops are finished in 2026, $100 booth rent available. You know, it's interesting that people are saying that. Aren't there articles saying that the barbering industry is the most booming profession right now? Let's see. Barber industry. Is booming. what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make videos of all these statements and then debunking them. Just, yeah, barbershops are finished. They boom, 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 boom. They're this, and this. And then just pull up a screenshot like this. The U.S. barber industry is experiencing a massive economic surge, generating roughly $7 billion with employment projected to grow over 7% over the decade. How does that happen? If barbershops are closing left and right, how are people losing their jobs left and right? Now, we got to find a better source, but somebody's wrong here. It's crazy. There's probably 1 million barbers in North America. Probably the majority of them in the U.S., right? There are, of those, 16,000 are W-2. That's what it looks like. The rest are 1099. Isn't that crazy? All these commissioned barbershops are not doing. Most of them are not doing W-2. If they are, they're chains. They're the great clips. You know, they're the sports clips, and they account for 5,000 stores. All right, let's check out a haircut. Let's check out a haircut. I don't think that's true either, Plugs the Barber. I don't think that's true either. How do you I've never seen barbershops built the level of some of these restaurants. I compare the barbering industry a lot to the restaurant industry because it's interesting how that industry is highly regulated. I think much more than the barber industry, but they don't require licenses, anything like that, for chefs, right? But it's highly regulated because it's much more dangerous. And I'm not saying it's much more dangerous in terms of what's possible. I'm talking about statistically. Much more people get sick and die from restaurants than barbershops. But I also think about, there's restaurants that charge $1,000 for a gold steak, and there's restaurants that charge $10 for a steak, and there's restaurants that are hole in the wall, in the hood, shitty, or just hole in the wall and cool and quirky and dope, or nice in the hood. But I really don't see the level that you see in high-end restaurants where they hired an interior designer. The restaurant downstairs had been open for 2 years, and it was gorgeous. They shut the restaurant down for 2 months, completely remodeled it, probably spent $1 million. It's gorgeous in there. They do it every couple years. A whole new theme in the restaurant, shake it up a bit. You imagine a barbershop doing that? We can't do that. The margins aren't there. Bartenders want to work at those type of places. Why? Because the drinks are more expensive. The tips are going to be better because of the percentage. Different type of clientele. So imagine a barbershop who's got that level, crazy interior design, crazy marketing, crazy location. Average household income is $250,000 a year. Haircut prices start at $75, and it's booming. Even if you gave up 40%, you still be making more money there than you would be charging $50 at a booth rent shop. Probably be making more and less work, because less admin work is what I mean. Less admin work, no marketing required. These are not the type of places where you need to do your own marketing and you got to build your own client. These are the type of places that you get there and you lock in. Just bring your clippers, learn the system, and you're going to be all right. Yeah, that's worth it. Yes, that's worth it, in my opinion. All right. I feel like I'm repeating myself a bunch. All right, we're not going to do another business video. Let's do this instead. Save that for later. All right. So hold on, I'm doing something real quick. Let's check this. Let's check out this 4-minute perfect fade in 4 minutes. It looks like it's a house cut, a house call. So it's interesting because we were just watching a guy complain and say that's why he cuts his own hair. I've never seen somebody cut their own hair and I can't tell they cut their own hair unless they're a barber. But people who cut their own hair, you know how they were talking about the Cunning-Kruger effect or whatever they were saying, Dunning-Kruger effect. They be having that shit too. All right, let's check it out.
Today, in just 4 minutes, I'm going to give you all the tips you need to give the perfect fade. We're going to start here with a number 1. It's written right on the clip, and you can attach it right to the machine. The technique that I'm using here is up and out. It's a very important tip. We're going to be using this technique for all our fading. You're going to start low.
That's an Andis clipper. They probably sell more of those clippers than they sell masters.
The skin, and then as you go up, you're going to go further away from the skin. You don't necessarily have to use clip number 1 here. You can use number 2 or number 3. Depends on how long you want it. But if you do switch to a number 2, for example, then all of the other clips that I'm going to be explaining throughout this fade, you're going to want to obviously just increase by 1. So we're going to do this all throughout. This is a very easy step. You want to make sure you just have a straight line all throughout, but it's a very important step. This part is going to set the pace for the rest of the haircut, so you want to go over and over the same spots to make sure it's completely clean and that you don't leave behind any patches of hair. So just make sure you take your time here. Next, we're going to be using clip number 3. So we did skip 2 for now. Clip number 3 is going to help us fade into the longest hair on top. You can notice here that I'm going about 2 inches high using the number 3. As I go higher, I'm going to be pressing much lighter.
No comb, nothing?
Because I could or should be using a number 4 as I go higher. But if I'm able to press light enough with the 3, then I won't have to change to the 4. It's something that'll come with experience, but if you're a beginner, you might want to use a number 4 first, higher.
I'm going to tell you this right now, okay?
Higher.
I'm going to tell you this right now. The fact he's not laying. The fact, what is going on here? The fact that this section, why is it doing this? Shit broken. All right, I gotta fix this. Hold on, let me fix this. This is why we haven't really been launching this yet. It's in beta, so. Okay, so we're gonna go, let's see if laser works. All right, cool. So the fact that he's not, see how the round of the head is here and there's an obvious hair growth split right here, like it's growing down and this is growing up. You gotta comb this hair down and you gotta blend into that hair because it's gonna naturally fall down after he showers and he gets out and dries his hair. This is gonna naturally fall down, and if you didn't blend that in, it's gonna look like shit after his shower or tomorrow morning, and it's gonna grow back like shit. So that's already, the fact he don't have a comb is insane.
You can use a number 3 just right under it. Once again, you're just going to go all around. As a reminder, the point here is to make sure you're fading into the longest hair on top, because we're not going to be cutting the hair on